Hey everybody, today I want to show you how to make your windows look beautiful. I'm going to put some farmhouse style casing on my windows and I'm going to show you how. So the number one step on making farmhouse trim happen is removing the old casing. On this window I've pulled it all out. Now one thing I want everybody to notice is that the gap between the drywall and the actual jambs here are all pretty tight, but what I'm really looking for is gaps of insulation. Feel for drafts, because when the winter comes in, these are the areas where we really want to fill them in. So if you have extra bats of insulation, stuff them in there, or you can go out there and buy that spray foam insulation that expands, put it in there and just fill those gaps, because we want to keep that nice and tight and stop any air from coming in so we don't lose all that nice hot air when we're trying to keep the house warm through the whole winter. All the casing's removed. Now I pull out the bottom sill. This is simple. These are generally nailed in, a little bit of caulking. You cut them and then you rip them out. Now, with a vinyl window, you have this sash here where you can just slip the new piece back in. What I want to do is measure it to see what thickness it is. I got 3.5 inches, and I want to go beyond that because I have to put a trim underneath. This is the casing that will go across. It's the same that's going up the sides, but the difference is in these style of windows, with the sill, we do a header. This is my header. A header is a lot different than what my casing is going to be. The casing goes up the side of the windows and underneath the bottom, but the header is what makes the window look really good. This goes on the top, this looks really nice, this goes on the sides, and it's very clean and simple. We want the elaborate piece at the top and the simple pieces down the side and underneath. Now, how to cut that sill. So take a measurement all the way across, measuring to the outside of the two window casings. I've got 71 3/4. This is going to be the mouth of the piece that goes in. So when I cut my pine, as you can see here, I've cut that 71 3/4 from this edge to that far edge. So that means that when I come in here and I start to slip it in, it should just fit right in place. It's really that simple if you have a vinyl window. If you don't have a vinyl window, there's probably a little bit more labor to actually do. But once you slip it in and it's cut out, it's perfect. You're probably like, how did you know to cut it that size? Well, here's what happens. If I take a piece of casing and I put it to the edge of the window, you'll see that I want projection to be beyond my casing. The casing will up the side and stop at the header. But what I need is to have something beyond that to make it look like a proper sill. Not to mention I want it to be beyond the depth of what the window cap is, so that when this is installed, there's still a little bit of a ledge here. That's what gives it that elaborate look. So you'll see that this has a little bit of a drop in it. Now the way you actually secure these in place is you can either wedge a shim underneath, or you can do a real simple technique of holding it and popping a nail in. And you'll see it's holding. I will be installing casing underneath to run a profile, just to give it that extra, more elaborate look. That will actually also add a stability so it won't have any dipping or sagging. So you don't have to worry about it. Very simple to measure for casing. All you're going to do is come up to the top and you're going to measure to the underside lip of the top header here. I've got 58.5 inches. And because it doesn't require 45-degree angles, no miters, we're actually just going to go and cut two pieces at 58.5 and we should be perfect. You can see we drop in our nice casing. Look at the height, everything looks clean. Come to the top, and what we want to make sure is that look for at least 1/8 above this lip to go up so that we have a little area to put a bead of caulking on to clean those lines up. We have California shutters in this window, so it's another thing to be aware of. So I'm making sure that my casing is beyond the hinges so that there's still clearance there so that we can open the windows without pinching on the casing. So now it's in place, just nail it away. I'm nailing my casing at the edge of the window because I want to get it into the side of the wood. There's also a 2x4 back here, probably a jack stud, maybe a king stud. And to nail into that, sometimes your trim doesn't reach all the way, so that's why I always focus here and then pop a couple in the back. Next up, the beautiful header. This is going to make everything look great. Now, how do you do it? Well, I like to do returns. So this is my return piece. Now, if you don't want to wait 30 minutes for this to glue up, check out my video on 12-second miters. It'll show you how to put this thing here in a matter of 12 seconds. So now with the beautiful return installed, we can mount this thing on top of our window. I marked center on the piece of the header and I marked center on the casing. This allows me not to fiddle with the ends with the measuring tape so that I know I'm sitting dead middle. Now for the bottom, what I'm going to do is the exact same as the side casing, but just like the top, I did returns. So now with this ready to go, I'm going to pop it in place. Now all that's left to do is dap, sand, and paint. There you have it, folks. Finished, beautiful farmhouse window trim style. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say.